So I guess we'll start out this time with talking about how this kind of came to be, which is something I don't always do and I don't really like to do because then it influences your interpretation as the person that experiences my art. But I figured I would try to do something a little different here. So, and I also think it just needs a little explanation for the uninitiated. So the poem first, or lyrics or song, like really I look at it almost as lyrics or a song as well as a poem at the same time. But anyway, it came into being when I was dealing with COVID at the beginning of this year. It was the first time I had COVID. And so I decided to try to have fun with this very difficult moment. And so that's where chrysalid C virus infection, whatever you'd like to call it. We're just going to say C virus for short, here on out, but came into being. And the C virus is from Resident Evil 6. It is a virus that is very insectile and will adapt to whatever combat situation is going on. So if I'm using a handgun, it's going to change into a different form. It'll go into a chrysalid. It'll go into metamorphosis and it'll transform into something that can deal with the handgun and it won't be a problem. And nature actually has many organisms that do act in this way, and that is one of the ways that evolution and adaptation does work. Anyway, I'm trying not to get too off track with this. And so it's combined with the idea of Flowers for Algernon. So Flowers for Algernon is a short story, forget the author's name. Essentially someone that's a dimwit becomes a genius, just a brilliant genius for, only so long due to essentially a potion or something like that, the flowers pretty much. And gradually they decline and they start to revert back into being a dimwit again. And so it's combining that idea with the idea of the C virus. And I think maybe the rest of it could probably speak for itself. It's the idea that it's not just a genius, but it is also a brilliant hero. I mean, it's one thing, he's a hero, but it's another thing to have an exceptional hero. And that's why he's a savior, or she, depending. I guess they transform into different things in the midst of it all, right? So I think that's enough background for you. I don't want to literally tell everything to you. But I think that some of this may be over some people's heads. If you're not into Resident Evil, you're not really going to get it. And if you don't know about Flowers for Algernon, you're really not going to get it. So anyway, I wanted to do another version of the poem, lyrics, song, and I'm pretty much adding on to a kind of really coming to more finalized version of it because I just think it's worth really working this one out. And I still want to do more with it. I think that this is not enough. It's still lacking in some ways. I want to improve it. So anyways, we'll just call it C virus infection 2. C virus with a case of Captain Trips and COVID. I'm dying but still alive. My hand has bones that mutated into little ink horns. I write with ecstatic thrill come blood phalanges. Poetic tragedy of science. I blooming flowers for Algernon. Temporary savior Shiro. Shearing the reap of chrysalid skin. Birthday suit becoming an imago of no image. Epigenetic evolution from the hate, from the artistic oppression, while hallucinating what I think is a rock concert with Captain Trips triplicates. The Camera Zeitgeist Grandmama Paparazzis, sleeping to my gift of orgasm without disease. My monstropulous dis-ease onto better things. Need to execute plans, I'm wilting. Petals into thorns. Genius, savior, messiah, fast spiritual food. Genius, psychopathic villain. Villain of the Algernon rose. Rose from the root of misery, cackling, mad dysentery. World saved so quickly, rests on the first day. On the second day, I am changing beyond staying. World is saved, but it is beyond the saving of the brilliant villain meddling. My mind is falling into primal insectile need of metamorphosis. The wilted weed, like molten goodness, is gone berserk. And evil beyond good and evil bursts from the chrysalid. And I messed up some of the phrasings here. World is saved, but is it beyond my brilliant villain meddling? I think is the one I messed up the most. Again, this is literally the first time I've read it, and that's the way I like to do it. But I think there's some good flow to this, and I'm pretty happy with it. I just want to expand on them having a Captain Trips moment, put the walking dude in there, is what I want to do, and make it also have something with the COVID in there. So I really want to talk about all aspects of this infection that this character is kind of enduring and dealing with. And I don't think I touch on all of those enough. It's just the C virus.